Have you ever felt like no matter what you do, your body just won't budge? You eat less, exercise more, cut out carbs, try all the right things, and yet the scales don't move. Or maybe it creeps up despite your best efforts. If that sounds familiar, I want you to know it's not your fault. And more importantly, there's a reason why this is happening. Weight loss resistance is real, and today we're going to break down why your body might be holding on to fat when you're doing everything right. And I'll explain the role of stress, inflammation, and hormones in this process, and why the old eat less, move more advice is actually making things worse, and what's really going on when your weight refuses to shift. But here's the thing. I'm not just here to give you the information. I want you to walk away with clarity about why you're stuck and what your body needs to unlock fat loss in a sustainable way. And if you're ready to take that to the next step, I'll tell you exactly where to get started. Sound good? Let's dive in. So let's start with something important. Your body isn't broken, it's adaptive. Your body's number one job is to keep you alive, and that means it prioritizes survival over weight loss every single time. Now, I know that this can feel frustrating, especially if you spent years trying to lose weight and nothing seems to work, but here's what most people don't realize. If your body is holding on to fat, it's doing it for a reason. Our bodies are responding to the signals we're sending to it. And if those signals tell our body that resources are scarce, that stress is high, that energy needs to be conserved, guess what? Your body isn't going to burn fat. It's going to store it. So many women blame themselves when they struggle to lose weight. They think they just need more discipline, more motivation, more time in the gym. But the reality is weight loss resistance isn't about willpower. It's about biology. Let me say that again for the women in the back. It's not your fault. It's our body's survival mechanism at work. And this is why you see some women who seem to lose weight effortlessly while others struggle. And, it's not because they're better at dieting, it's because of how their body has adapted over time. Your metabolic history, hormone balance, and stress load all play a massive role in how your body processes and stores fat. Now, let's talk about something most people don't realize. If you've been dieting for years, you may have accidentally trained your body to hold on to fat, which sounds crazy, doesn't it? But here's what actually happens. Every time you drastically cut calories, your body perceives that as a food shortage. It thinks you're in a famine and it responds by slowing down your metabolism to conserve energy. Your body starts burning fewer calories just to keep you alive. You feel tired, sluggish, and hungrier. And once you inevitably eat more again, because no one can survive on 1,200 calories forever, your body stores that fat to prepare for the next time food is scarce. And this is why the more diets you've done, the harder it feels to lose weight. Your body is learning, it's getting better at protecting you, it's adapting. And if you've been stuck in a cycle of restriction and binging, eating super clean Monday through Friday, then going all out on the weekend, your body is constantly experiencing feast or famine mode. It's stressed, and stressed bodies do not release weight easily. Now let's go even deeper, because it's not just about past dieting history. It's also about stress and inflammation. When your body is under chronic stress, whether that's from work or family responsibilities, poor sleep, or even over exercising, It releases more cortisol, your main stress hormone. And here's the kicker. Cortisol is like a fat storage alarm system. When it's high for too long, your body gets the message that it needs to store more energy in case of an emergency. And where does it store it? Around your belly. So if you've been dealing with stubborn belly fat and no amount of crunches or cardio is making a difference, this is why. But cortisol isn't the only thing at play here. We also need to talk about inflammation. If your body is inflamed, whether it's from gut issues or food sensitivities, poor sleep or stress, your fat cells actually become more resistant to releasing the stored fat. They hold onto it almost like a form of self-protection. So if you're inflamed, even the healthiest diet won't work the way you want it to. Your body is prioritizing healing, not weight loss. So here's what I want you to take away from this. If you've been struggling to lose weight, it's not because you're not trying hard enough. It's because your body is responding exactly as it is designed to. Your body is stuck. It's not a sign that you need to restrict more. It's a sign that your body doesn't feel safe enough to let go of fat. And that's a real problem. Your body has to feel safe before it will release fat. So what does this mean for you? It means the key to fat loss isn't about cutting calories or punishing yourself in the gym. It's about getting your body to work for you, not against you. And that's exactly what we're going to unpack next. So let's talk about the 3 major players in more detail. Let's get even more into stress, inflammation, and hormones. So most people assume that weight loss is just about eating less and moving more. But if that were true, we wouldn't have so many women struggling with stubborn weight, right? The reality is your body isn't just reacting to how much you eat and how much you exercise. It's reacting to the internal messages it's receiving from your stress levels, inflammation, and hormone balance. And when these 3 factors are out of sync, your body shifts into survival mode, which means fat loss slows down or even stops completely. So let's start with the big one, stress. I want you to think about something for a second. Have you ever noticed that when you're going through a stressful time, maybe a busy period at work, family issues, or even just life throwing its curveballs, your weight either stays the same or it creeps up, even when you haven't changed what you're eating? That's because stress is one of the biggest hidden drivers of weight loss resistance. When your body perceives stress, whether it's in the form of a work deadline, financial struggles, poor sleep, or even over-exercising, it activates your fight or flight response. Your nervous system doesn't know the difference between running from a tiger and running late for a meeting. It treats all stress the same way. And when this happens, your body releases more cortisol, your primary stress hormone. And here's the problem. Like I said before, cortisol is a fat storage hormone. When cortisol levels are high for too long, it signals your body to store fat around your belly. And it also makes your body resistant to burning stored fat for energy because your brain is getting the message that you're in a state of emergency. And worst of all, cortisol makes you crave sugar and carbs. Why? Because your body thinks you need a quick source of energy to outrun the threat. So if you've ever felt like stress makes you crave chocolate, pasta, or carby snacks, it's not just in your head. Your body is literally driving you towards high energy foods. And the worst part, chronic stress means your body is constantly in this fat storing, craving driven state. So if you're someone who feels like you're always stressed, always busy, always switched on, and you can't seem to lose weight, It's not a matter of eating less, it's a matter of addressing your stress response. Now, stress isn't the only roadblock we need to talk about. Let's move on and talk about inflammation in more detail. If your body is inflamed, it's gonna hold on to weight, no matter how clean your diet is. And inflammation can come from so many sources. Gut issues, for example, things like bloating, food sensitivities, or poor digestion. Lack of sleep can also be a source of inflammation because it directly increases inflammatory markers in the body. Chronic stress, we've already mentioned it, but stress and inflammation are deeply linked. And toxic overload from processed foods, alcohol, or environmental toxins, these all drive inflammation. And here's what is happening inside your body. When your body is inflamed, your fat cells become resistant to releasing stored fat. Instead of breaking it down for energy, your body actually holds onto it to protect itself. And inflammation also disrupts insulin sensitivity, which is what we're going to talk about more in the next section. But this makes it harder for your body to regulate blood sugar and burn fat effectively. And finally, inflammation can slow down your mitochondria, the tiny energy powerhouses in your cells, and that leads to fatigue, sluggish metabolism, and weight gain. So, if you've ever felt like you're doing everything right, but your body is still feeling inflamed, swollen, or stuck, this is why. It's not just about how many calories you eat. I'm going to keep saying it. It's about how much inflammation your body is dealing with. And speaking of things that control fat storage, let's talk about one of the most overlooked puzzle pieces and the one where there's the most noise around it as well, but probably not enough understanding, and that's hormones. Most people only really think of hormones in terms of periods, menopause, or pregnancy, but in reality, hormones control everything related to your metabolism. And if they're not in balance, losing weight will feel like pushing a boulder uphill. Here are the 3 biggest hormonal roadblocks to weight loss resistance. First of all, insulin resistance. This is your sugar storage hormone. Insulin is a blood sugar regulator, and when it's working well, it helps to shuttle glucose into your cells so that you can make energy. But when insulin resistance kicks in, your body stops responding properly to insulin, and instead of using food for energy, it stores it as fat. So some signs of insulin resistance can include constant hunger, even after eating, sugar or carb cravings, energy crashes in the afternoon, fat storage around the belly. And this is why weight loss isn't just about calories, it's about how your body processes and stores your food. The second hormone we need to be thinking about are thyroid hormones. And, your thyroid is really the master metabolism regulator. Your thyroid controls how fast or slow your metabolism runs. And if your thyroid is sluggish, your entire system slows down. So some signs of thyroid dysfunction, I'll just cover a couple because there are absolutely loads out there, but some really common signs are low energy and fatigue, unexplained weight gain, cold hands and feet, and hair thinning and brittle nails. Even if you're using a perfect diet, if your thyroid isn't working properly, weight loss is going to be incredibly slow. And then lastly, we've got estrogen dominance. And this is an imbalance that really drives fat storage. Many women, especially in the 40s and beyond, struggle with estrogen dominance, where there's too much estrogen in relation to progesterone. So some signs of estrogen dominance can be weight gain around the hips, thighs, and lower belly, heavy or irregular periods, mood swings, PMS, or water retention. And when estrogen is too high, fat loss becomes harder, especially in the lower body. And here's what's key. All these hormones work together. If one is out of balance, it affects the rest. Your body isn't just about calories in versus calories out. It's about chemistry. If stress is high, cortisol will keep you in fat storage mode. If inflammation is present, your body will hold on to weight for protection. If your hormones are imbalanced, your metabolism won't function properly, no matter how much you diet and exercise. So if you're feeling stuck, exhausted and frustrated with your body, the solution isn't another restrictive plan. It's fixing these deeper metabolic blocks. And that's exactly what I teach in my free masterclass. If you want to learn how to reset your metabolism, balance your hormones, and finally see lasting fat loss, I invite you to join me because I'm going to break down the exact steps that I use with my clients to get your body working for you and not against you. I've dropped the link for that in the show notes and the description. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, the diet industry's favorite advice: eat less, move more. If this actually worked long term for fat loss, we wouldn't be here having this conversation. But let's just break down exactly why it doesn't work. When you eat less than your body needs for an extended period, your metabolism slows down to conserve energy. Your body literally burns fewer calories to keep you alive. And this is why you might lose weight initially, but then it hits a plateau. Your body has adjusted. And if you add excessive exercise on top of that, you're increasing stress on your body. High intensity workouts combined with low calorie intake lead to higher cortisol, muscle loss, and, you guessed it, more fat storage. It's a vicious cycle. And if you've been stuck in this pattern, you're not doing something wrong. It's because the advice you've been given is outdated and it doesn't take into account how your body actually works. Now, I want to talk for a minute about your weight set point. Most people have never even heard of this, yet it's one of the biggest reasons why traditional dieting doesn't really work long term. If you think about your weight set point like a thermostat in your home, your body has a natural comfort zone for weight. And if you try and push your weight too far below that, your body reacts just like a thermostat, turning the heat back on when it gets cold. And, this is why it's frustrating. If you've been dieting for years, your body may have actually increased your weight set point over time. So instead of naturally maintaining a lower weight, your body is now defending a higher weight, even though you've been eating less and working out more. That's because your body doesn't care about being thin. It cares about keeping you alive. So let's say you go on a restrictive diet, you cut down your calories, maybe you start doing intense workouts, and at first the weight starts coming off, but then something shifts. Your hunger increases, your energy plummets, the scales stop moving no matter how hard you try. This isn't a sign that you're failing. It's a sign that your body is adjusting to survive. And the thing that's happening behind the scenes, firstly, your metabolism slows down. Your body burns fewer calories to protect itself from what it sees as starvation. Secondly, your hunger hormones increase. Your body starts producing more ghrelin, the hunger hormone, to make you eat more and restore your weight. And thirdly, your stress hormones rise. High cortisol tells your body to store fat, particularly around your belly. And the kicker is, once you stop dieting, your body doesn't just go back to normal. It now fights even harder to hold on to the weight. This is why every diet you try seems harder and harder. You're not failing, the diet is failing you. Your body is simply doing what it was designed to do. So how can we change our weight set point? Well, not by dieting, but by addressing metabolism at its root. Your body has to feel safe enough to release the weight. And that means supporting your metabolism so that your body wants to burn fat instead of storing it, addressing hormonal imbalances that might be keeping your set point elevated, and focusing on nourishment instead of restriction so that your body learns that food isn't scarce. And the biggest mindset shift if you want to lose weight sustainably, you have to stop focusing on weight loss and start focusing on metabolic health. Because when your metabolism is working efficiently, your weight just naturally adjusts without the battle, the hunger, and the burnout. So if you're stuck at a higher weight, no matter what you try, it's not that you need more willpower, it's that your body needs a different approach. And again, this is what I teach in my masterclass. If you want to learn how to reset your metabolism and get your body working for you instead of fighting against you, please join me for my masterclass, because real weight loss isn't about fighting your body. It's about understanding how it actually works. Or if you're not sure where to start, or maybe you haven't got time to join me for my masterclass, why not take my free quiz? It's there to help you pinpoint what's holding you back most and give you the steps to start moving forwards. And I'll link both of those in the show notes. So to wrap up, if you feel stuck, it's not because you're not trying hard enough. Your body is simply in a state that is resisting fat loss, and that's something you can change. If this episode resonated with you, take action, join my masterclass, take the quiz, or even send me a message on Instagram to let me know what clicked for you today. And remember to please like and subscribe if you haven't already. It really does make a difference and helps me to get the message out there. Thank you so much for spending your time with me today. I hope that this episode has helped you to understand your body in a whole new way. And I can't wait to take the next step towards a healthier, easier relationship with weight loss along with you. I'll see you in the next one.